Hey everyone, welcome back to the Automotive Flux channel. So today we're going to be making a soapbox car. If you've ever seen those Red Bull videos of like soapbox cars traveling down different routes, usually it's taking place in different countries, so different routes based on different countries. They're always creative designs, some interesting concepts. Today I'm going to be trying to do the same thing for myself, but with a little bit of a twist. Let's get into it. Last week, we took a trip into the future where I made this hover car. I would encourage you to check that video out if you haven't. This is a very interesting vehicle. But yeah, I'm not going to be using this as the base for the new one. Instead, I'm going to be using this very shoe-like old race car style body, and the reason for that is I think it's just unique and interesting, and I almost always build something similar when I'm doing videos these days, so I wanted to take a little bit of a different spin on things, and I mean that very literally. So let's go ahead and make it partially aluminum. Lightness is key to this, but also weight in the right places is as well. If you don't know what Soapbox is, basically what happens is unpowered cars are put at the top of a hill, and then you need to get down the hill, and whoever gets down the fastest is generally the winner if it's a race. But the basic idea is the cars are only powered by gravity, and they generally do have brakes as well for a little bit of extra control. So it can get very competitive. It's not just about the way that it's made, it's also about how it's driven. And to be honest, I don't have the how it's driven part down very well yet. We'll get there when we get there, but the how it's made is what we're working on right now. I think this is going to be a decent, slightly winning combination of components, although I'm going to be fighting against myself, so I'm going to win no matter what. Okay, so the engine placement is kind of key because it's really just about where it is more than anything, because the engine itself is a giant concentration of mass. It's like the batteries in an electric car. Like that's where the weight of the car is. It's almost like a ballast, basically. Suspension is actually extremely important, so I'm just going to go double wishbone on both for now. We'll come back to that. But yeah, we're going to have to make a new engine, except it really doesn't matter what size it is or anything like that. I'm actually just going to make it really, really tiny. I'm pretty sure I have an engine in my garage that's larger than this, and it used to be in a snowblower. But anyways, let's just knock it down to the most basic components. I'm keeping it cast, so it actually does have a little bit of weight to it, but like power and all that stuff does not matter at all. Literally, I'm just going to skip through everything that I can. It's not going to be a good engine, it's not going to make any power, but it really does not matter. 8.8 horsepower, that's actually not too unreasonable for an engine like this. Maybe a single cylinder version, but there you go. And it weighs 37 kilos, not bad. So we'll come back to paint and fixtures and stuff. Actually, let's do fixtures really quick because there's something we need to hide. Evidently, there's a chassis that needs to disappear here. There we go. Now we have the actual like look of the car. Interestingly, on the front suspension, if we go double wishbone, obviously they stick up considerably. McPherson strut, same thing. Leafs don't though, which is, I mean, this car might have been Leafs back in the day, or coils, but I don't know. I'm gonna probably go double wishbone, and we're just gonna have to deal with the struts that are sticking up. Or maybe I can work something in with fixtures. So drive mode doesn't matter, gearbox doesn't matter. We're just gonna go 2 speeds. Although, actually it might matter. We'll have to see how that goes. Diffs and stuff don't really matter. But I do want to do the wheels. We're going to go semi-slicks, and I'm going to make them as small as I can. Straight up, my goal here is bicycle wheels, pretty much. And so far, I mean, it's working. This car is going to be so light that the tire profile is going to be fine just the way that it is. I think, obviously, I have to choose some better rims than these, but this is going to be perfect. Even with super, super thin wheels, we should be able to have at least a little bit of grip. Brakes are actually quite important as well. I'm going to go vented discs on the front and the back with 2 pistons each. We could make them huge, 420. That's probably too big, but it is very accurate to the day that I'm recording this on, which just happens to be Thursday. Jumping back over to the fixtures, first thing I'm going to change is those wheels. They're just not going to fly for this. Stuff like modern wheels also doesn't work. Like, that just looks ridiculous. So we're going to have to go way back in time. Maybe even this far back, maybe further, but that actually doesn't look too bad. Oh yes, here we go. These are actual legit looking bicycle wheels, and that might be the one to go for unless we go wagon wheels on the alternative. That's looking pretty good though. I'm actually very thoroughly impressed. Let's pick out some colors, but first, some quick messages. Boys, I'm looking pretty rough these days. Let's smooth things out with today's sponsor, Henson Shaving. Lately, I've been thinking more about the environment and the small things I can personally do to help create less plastic waste. One of those ways is with Henson's AL13. With a solid machined aluminum handle and standard double-edged blades, there is no plastic being used here and nothing getting thrown out. This is the last razor I will ever need. As for how it performs, well, I just shaved using this razor and no extra buzzing was required, even for the thicker stuff. And even at the end of it, there were no burns or cuts or anything like that. Honestly, I was quite impressed. Pick up yours today with the link in the description. Use my code for a free pack of 100 blades with your purchase. Just be sure to add them to your cart and throw Automotive Flux into the coupon box. Every purchase supports this channel and my project car fund, so thank you. Also thank you to Henson for consistently sponsoring this channel. I really do appreciate it. You know, I can't get away from that dad look. My daughter is gonna love this. Now that that ad is done, I just wanted to say thank you to those who have chosen to support me with these advertisements. The Henson keeps coming back and I'm super thankful for it, and it's only because of people who are willing to support me in that way. Alright, that took me way too long to pick colors, but I think I've settled on it. Basically, the entire drivetrain is painted black. The wheels, I actually changed the color of the tires themselves to be like a fiber color, and I'm interested to see how that goes in BeamNG. And the rest of the car is still green, it's just a little bit more shiny than it was. So the thing about these cars is it's all about being creative and making something interesting. Now I could just send this like this and then we'd be able to tune it and see how it goes from there. But I kind of want to just add some stuff to it for fun. It's not necessary, but I think it'll be fun. First thing we're going to need is a driver. So this unwilling customer right here, I think he's signed right up for this. See, I want to put him down here like this, but then it's going to become a Fred Flintstone style car. So I think I might have to make some adjustments here. Either he goes way up or maybe like this. Alright, so I've given our guy a little bit of a paint job. He's now painted a dark cloth color just because I thought it blended well. And I've given him a steering wheel, although that's not a very big steering wheel and he's not even holding it. But we'll just have to suspend our disbelief a little bit because it doesn't really matter. Now, onto the rest of the car. I was thinking of doing some bandit themes. I was going to put guns on it and stuff, but now I'm wondering, well, first of all, where is the engine? Oh my goodness. That is tiny, it's right in there. 8 horsepower, oh boy. Well, we'll see how it goes on that too. I have to actually get to the hill. Alright, I've decided to give our guy a speedometer as well. He can see what's going on at least a little bit. Now, again, I need to decide what I want to do with the rest of this. Okay, I'll admit this is one of my less normal designs. I basically was like, I want to fit this glow-in-the-dark taxi sign on here somewhere. So then I started messing around with it and we got Red Bull or Red Mule stuff. We got taxi. We got stripes, kind of like what you'd see on a taxi. We got twin, actually it's quad, supercharged, 2-engine fakeness. I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely something here. Also, it's a Mercedes now, so don't worry about it. We've left the realm of realism, and we are deep into the Red Bull taxi nature of things, and the Red Bull Soapbox competition as well. That's something that I would actually love to do, though. If they ever brought it to an area close to me, I would absolutely love to enter something like that. So maybe one day. So I think where we're at here is estimated top speed is 94. Oh no. Okay, let's go through the rest of the build and make sure I have everything set. Aerodynamics, I actually did add a little piece there, but I don't think it's gonna matter. We also have no graphs at the moment. Still not done with the build. Let's just go for a basic interior. Absolutely nothing in terms of entertainment, and 1 half seat or just 1 full seat is all we can do. I realize that this car is very ironic in the sense that it is a 1-seater taxi. Just don't think about it too much. Manual steering, no ABS, absolutely no safety. Let me just go all the way back to 1940 and click none. Optimize weight, we want as light as possible. And standard standard, nothing crazy. Now the game doesn't really understand this car, and that's okay because it has 8 horsepower, so I don't expect the game to really understand anything what is going on here. I'm going to lower the ride height down as much as it'll go so we have a nice sporty stance. This car is getting weirder by the millisecond. It's only 600 kilos. That's actually extremely light, which is good. And going back over to here, it looks like 51 kilometers an hour is all we're actually going to get out of it. Maybe a little more than that. Okay, I bumped it up to a 4-speed because more ratios means we can actually use the torque of this extremely tiny engine. It's not going to have any issues at all with wheel spin or anything like that. It's literally just going to be just that it doesn't have enough power to do anything, which is perfectly acceptable for my application. So I'm curious to see how it does in BeamNG, and I think you are too. Let me just run through the rest of this, and I'll see you there. Alright, we're starting off a little bit differently this time because I'm here in Italy, because Italy is a place with a ton of hills, especially in BeamNG. We have a few downhill sections we can take, and I figure we should start either... Well, this one is pretty ridiculous, so I don't know if I want to tackle that just yet, but maybe we can try its alternative, i.e. This way. Alright, so here it is, the Red Mule taxi soapbox car without any thing on it, actually. It has no... decals on the side. Unfortunately, they disappeared, but that's not a big deal. It does have exhaust, and I am running the engine currently, but it is in neutral. Oh my goodness, it's a diesel. Smoke show. Oh no. Okay, the engine broke immediately. That's really funny. Will it, like, do anything, though? Like, can I back up a hill, perhaps? Possibly. I mean, the gearing is pretty short, but it's not that short, so apparently it's not quite enough. I mean, realistically, what we can do is just go into the vehicle config, and I'm pretty sure here you can just take out the engine. Just empty. Nothing. So yeah, there we go. Now we have an engineless version of this car, and I don't know how we're going to get things rolling, but here we go. Let's see. Airspeed of 13 or 14 kilometers an hour. I'm thinking that this is going to be a bit of a slow burn here to get up to this side. That hill down there is a really tough one, but this one is going to be interesting, I think. Now, brakes are definitely a possibility, and brakes are, as I said, very important, but you don't want to hit them too much because you'll scrub a lot of time off of your run. And you don't want to lose that momentum, basically. So if I'm losing it, oh, sounds like a hybrid. Actually, it sounds like an electric car. But if I'm losing my momentum by braking, then I'm doing something wrong. I think the only brake light, by the way, is the taxi light. Maybe. All right, here we go. Our dead silent run is actually going incredibly well. This is making me think of a whole like concept though, which I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on it. Electric cars, obviously, in their basic form, they don't make any noise, and that takes a lot away from the driving experience. And I think it's the same way in games. Like, I like hearing engine noise when I'm driving, and engine noise gives a lot of feedback as well. Like, shifting manual when you can hear the car clearly is a lot easier than when you can't. Okay, we are absolutely flying, by the way, 70 kilometers an hour. We've crushed the previous goals here of this car. But I think that's just something that I miss with electric cars, is having any sort of engine noise. My wife has a hybrid, and it makes hybrid noises. It makes like little spaceship noises, but I mean, I don't know. It's better than nothing, but it's not the same as an engine. It just is not the same. Oh my goodness, I'm skidding out of control a little bit. We have no grip at all with these super thin wheels. These are supposed to be semi-slicks, but yeah, they're like, I don't know. They're so thin, it doesn't matter. They're 85s. Like, what car has that? It's basically motorcycle wheels. This corner might be interesting. Oh, no. That ended the run right there. But there's still more of this track left. I'm giving myself a mulligan for screwing that up. Mostly because the whole aim of these types of cars is to be as smooth as possible, and I am really not smooth with a controller, but we'll be fixing that soon because I'm going to be building a sim rig. Yes, you heard me right. I've been working with some brands to try and help me out with this, and yeah, I got some stuff coming in the mail, and hopefully soon Probably at the start of May, I'm going to be working on a sim rig. It's going to be a multi-part series, and I really hope that you stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'll be using it to play BeamNG for streams and stuff. And wow, we got going quickly again. The brakes are very front biased. That was an easy spin out there. Also, the car has no ABS, so I got to be super careful. But yeah, basically what I was saying before is lots of cool stuff coming up. I have a lot of things working on in the background. I always am, so I'm hopeful that you'll be interested in checking that out when it comes up. As an aside, and I mentioned this in my last video as well, you may be noticing more sponsors and brands on my channel, and that's not because I'm like selling out or something like that. I'm just trying to make things a little more sustainable here. With the way that things are going in my household, it's definitely necessary. And yeah, I know it's unfortunate to have to hear extra ads on things, but I'm trying to make them good ones. I'm trying to be creative with it, and you obviously don't have to engage with it if you don't want to, but I would appreciate it if you would support brands that support me, and then more brands will support me, and then who knows where things will go from there. And then maybe things like this sim rig will be even more crazy and fancy than it already is. Spoiler alert, it's very basic. At least so far. Yeah, this hill, by the way, getting back into the game is absolutely huge, but it is a very, very nice one to cruise down. I believe I've done a soapbox car in the past, but I'm not 100% on when that was. It's been a while. That was a drift. I'm over the curb. I don't think I'm going to have the power to get back over it. No, so here we lie. But as we glide down closer and closer to the ocean, it just reminds me that I figure we should probably crash into the ocean at some point. If we can, I think I'm fairly close to being able to do that. I should be able to pop out at one of these roads down here if I can get enough speed to get down there. But next week I had an idea. As we're going downhill with the soapbox, why don't we go uphill with a hill climb? Maybe even an electric hill climb car. Ooh, yeah. No, I know I said we would do electric this week. I was thinking that, and I had an idea, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I decided against it and wanted to do this instead. However, electric hill climb sounds pretty cool, and I don't know, we may as well do that next week. Okay, I took a wrong turn. I was supposed to take a left, so we're cruising at 39. But I don't know how much more downhill we got, maybe a little bit more. Okay, we're darn close to the beach though. We're so close. Once we hit the water, you know, we're pretty much set. I should probably do at some point some kind of vote on which one of my cars built this year was the worst. I'm curious to see what people think. This one would probably be top tier. Let's go for it. And it doesn't matter because it has no engine, but yeah, we're done. We made it to the bottom. Now let's try the really, really difficult one that's over there. All right, testing the engine one more time. I'm curious to see, oh my goodness, 8 horses is not enough to even get up this slope, at least not without any momentum. Okay, I'm gonna build power. Okay, 4. Yes. Hey, it's just like my go-kart. Okay, never mind, it's broken. Boys, it turns out 250 cc's is not enough to actually do anything in this game. Who would have thought 8.8 horsepower, kind of useless? Although, that would make a pretty good showcase, wouldn't it? Alright, once again, I have ripped out the engine because we don't need it anyways, and I am on slightly too level of ground to be able to roll anywhere, so we're going to give her a little bit of a boost. There we go. Okay, so this is that really tricky section that's basically all just switchbacks. I don't think I'm going to do too hot on this, but I mean, I'm doing 30 something already. This is a very deep downhill spot, and it is treacherous, especially coming back up. First corner, actually not too bad. I did have to hit the brakes a decent amount there. So, quick idea while we're thinking about things. Also, this goes back uphill here, so I should have carried a lot more momentum there than I did. Anyway, I think we're going to be fine. But just thinking about things, I think it would be a lot of fun to do a 10 horsepower showcase. No other rules other than 10 horsepower, and obviously no JB edits or anything like that. Do whatever you want, 10 horses. What is the fastest car on a track that we can get with 10 horsepower? I think that'd be a lot of fun. I still got some projects I got to finish up first before we do any showcases, but Yeah, that's the thought right now. All right, come on now. I mean, I'm taking these switchbacks at fairly decent speed, but I am having to brake for them. Otherwise, the back end on this car gets really upset. I think maybe the way that I did the weight distribution is not ideal for this. It turns pretty well. Like, I thought that having the engine sort of mid behind the front wheels was going to help me out, but I mean, then I took it out with the extra options, so maybe it's upset the balance, but I don't know. This car is screwed up no matter what. Also, it only has downforce on the front. If you noticed, I put a little lip down there, so there's just a little bit of downforce at the front. Absolutely nothing on the back, and that looks spooky. Okay, I just noticed the wheels are floating. I don't know why that is. Is the chassis tweaked? Did I do something? That back wheel is floating. Look at it. Okay, now it isn't. What the heck? Okay, I've set a similar goal for myself here. Obviously, we're not going to get up to the same kind of speeds. We're doing over 70 before, but if we can run into the beach here, I will be very impressed. Also, that is a long ways to go at 25 kilometers an hour. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize I needed more speed through that. A soapbox contest would also make a really good showcase, but I think the reality is that it's going to come down mostly to my driving and my handling of the vehicles instead of the actual builds, which is unfortunate. So that's why I'm not super keen on doing one of those. Although if it was a stunt course like the Red Bull one, I'd be very down instead of a handling based course like this one. And okay, easy. By the way, we made it, no problem. I guess that section is like a 2% grade or something because we were able to get a decent amount of speed out of it. All right, green nugget taxi, let's go, let's go. Oh, that's a fast corner. And this one I'm not going to be able to do at full speed. Brake, drift, and too much brake, too much drift. Oh yeah, you can get a front view of this car, which is it's a little bit spooky, honestly. Also, it's slightly off to the side. I guess it's supposed to be a two-seater, but it's cool that this kind of thing exists. I love being able to see the quad superchargers that don't do anything on our 8.8 horsepower three-cylinder 250cc, but this is a weird look for Beam. I usually play differently. Oh my goodness, we have engine view. That's not what I want. Okay, there we go. That must have been the hood cam, but obviously it's the supercharger cam on this car. Boys, if we can somehow make it over to the airport, I would be very thoroughly impressed. But for now, I've just been coasting, just thinking about things, just relaxing pretty much, and then screaming when I round some of these corners at 30 kilometers an hour without any real way to stop myself. Oh, 63. Oh, that was a fast switch there. I'm trying to be careful. This is a bit more of a rounding corner here, so we have an opportunity to gain speed. 69, 72. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Is that going to be enough to crest this hill? Can I make it to the airport or the beach? Maybe it was a left to the beach, but I guess I'm headed to the airport now. Okay, we've crested it. Can we get down to the little city there? Am I going to miss the turn? It's honestly amazing what you can do with just gravity power, at least in this game. We could probably set it to like sun gravity or something and change the entire way that this is going. Okay, I might have missed the turn. Oh well, we're going this way. This is downhill, that's uphill. A slight grade doesn't mean anything to me, boys. Let's do it. Come on, we're so close. I can see the runway. I'm just thinking now that I should have added a little jump seat on the back of this thing, facing backwards for our potential customers. How else am I supposed to get those fares to feed the superchargers? But yes, boys, I made it to the airport. Somehow, some way, I managed to get all the way over here. Well, if I can make it to the runway, that would be extra special, but I don't think so. And with that, in the airport parking lot, I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on this car and on Soapbox racing in general. What do you think about it? I think it's pretty cool. I especially like watching people's kind of crazy contraptions that they make and the weird stuff that goes on there. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you again to Henson for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out the link in the description. Use my code in the coupon box when you have a pack of blades and a razor in the cart, and you will get the pack of blades for free with your purchase. So yeah, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. I don't know if I do the ads justice or the products justice when I make these videos, but genuinely, Henson shaving razors are really nice. So if you're interested, check them out. Every purchase supports me and goes directly into my project car fund. I will see you guys again soon. More stuff to come. Like I said, electric hill climb next week and some other stuff coming up soon. Lots of good ideas and bad ones too, don't worry. I'm full of those. Let's take some time to thank those who have chosen to support this channel, specifically Overlord, Terry01, Sinlab, J Pope, Davis Heister, Baja Blast, Goofy Place, Phoenix Shark, Badger, Mancini Country, Shadow Jasper, and I Look Van Highmilk. Or Highmick, there's no L in there. I've been reading it as milk this entire time, so I apologize. But thank you everyone for your support. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys again soon. Yeah, I hear your calls for more multiplayer stuff. I just wish I had time to collaborate with somebody. At this point, I don't, but I will soon. Sooner than later, I'll get to that. Also, if you noticed any differences with the audio in this, it's because I put one of my socks on my mic. Literally a sock. And I did that on purpose to get rid of some of the S sounds. Hopefully it worked. Hopefully it didn't dull my audio too much. Well, I'll find out when I'm editing this, but yeah, see you guys again soon.